So, Joe,
What up?
happy 2025.
Happy 2025. What, we 15 days in?
15 days in.
15 days into 2025. I love 2025 so far.
Yeah.
Kind of. Um, Only because I got sick. Got sick the day before I went to Vegas. Had runs. It was interesting to be in Vegas with the runs and then going to see Aname at the Sphere, and then coming back with body aches. And then after the body aches, I mean, just feeling weak like that is a terrible feeling. So 2025 ain't necessarily been the best. We've been a little MIA on the channel as well too. So
All
also
right.
some,
We're back.
yeah. I mean, we've never went anywhere. It's just regrouping. I guess I'll talk about some of the things to expect. So you posed a question to me that was very powerful. What are my intentions with the channel? And my intentions with the channel are still the same, to talk about my story. I think we started with my past, right? You want to give a layout on who this person is, who I am. So I think we've kind of beat that story to death. Spent 12 years in prison, had a rough upbringing, but at the end of the day, who cares? You know, there's a lot of people out there that have rough upbringings. What do you do with it? I may not have responded to the best of my ability in my teens and in my 20s, but I think getting out of prison, I responded very well. And then tomorrow I actually have a podcast with ISSA, which is a certifying body for personal training. And some of the lines of questioning that we're going to go over are pretty powerful, you know, because they wanted me to write a bio. I wrote a bio about myself, and I actually accumulated the number of hours that I've actually trained since being out. And it was
How much?
36,800 hours. That's low ball.
Damn.
So 36,000 hours. You know, they say that it takes, I think, 10,000 hours or something like that to be an expert. Like, well, I guess I'm an expert in training 3 times over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of hours that I've spent, and I have no regrets. So, also too, starting a new venture in Romania. I'll see how that goes. So I'll be talking more about that. And I just want to say that last year wasn't necessarily the easiest, but life just isn't easy, and struggles, pain, challenges actually show you who you really are. It's not that it's easy, because if it was easy, then we're not going to challenge ourselves. Just like when you posed the question to me about, well, what do you want this year with the channel? Not necessarily the same, but I want to continue it. And sometimes a continuation may look a little bit differently. It could look the same in some light, and it could look different in other lights, because the fact of the matter is, I'm going to keep growing older, and so are you, and so are the viewers. Um, Life is very beautiful, and it's what you do with it. So you want to repeat last year, that's fine. But if you want to grow and develop and have follow through, then you're going to have to do things a little bit differently. So I think one of the biggest challenges I'm having is, how do I go from exchanging time for money to having passive income? That's a huge dynamic shift,
Yeah.
right? Because whether you're a doctor, attorney, if you're a firefighter, if you're a police officer or a trainer, making 6 figures, which some people would say like, okay, well, you've reached your pinnacle. No, you haven't. Or there's 7 figures, and then there's 8 figures. So why stop there? But you're not going to be making 7 figures by exchanging time for money. I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So every wealthy person that I know that's making, say, gets 7 figures, is not exchanging time for money. I'm sorry. So I'm trying to find my avenue. I'm trying to find my way from humble beginnings. And if you guys have been following the channel from day one, that would be a phenomenal story. So my story isn't done, and I want to keep sharing it. My struggles, my challenges, and just be very, very transparent with, I'm human and I make mistakes and I have my own challenges.
Now, yeah. What are your challenges this year?
Um,
What do you think you may face or have you already faced?
I think one of my biggest challenges is probably with Tina, you know, because that requires energy, that requires time, that requires nurturing, right? In order to nurture a relationship that is still fairly young requires time, but I'm also very ambitious, right? If I'm at work 12 hours a day, then I come home, how much time does she get? Because I got to go to sleep at a certain time. So the person that I claim is supposed to be somebody that I'm building and cultivating a relationship with, they're only getting minimal time. I couldn't really imagine building an empire and I'm giving it minimal time.
Yeah.
I mean, we give this minimal time, and that's true, right? So we have an X amount of subscribers, we have an X amount of comments that we get per video, but we're only giving it minimal time, so it's taking a little bit longer to grow. If you give something more time, then expect for it to grow even faster.
Absolutely.
So I would say that that's probably going to be my biggest challenge, especially with this new endeavor. Like I haven't traveled to another country again, so
That's a big one.
yeah. Um, I think that we can make it work, but it's a challenge,
Yeah.
and it's a challenge that I want to be attentive to and pay close attention to, and not just brush it on the rug and just hope that things are going to be okay.
I mean, I think as long as you don't brush it under the rug, it'll be okay. Like, put the time apart, still be okay as long as you still stay in contact.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
forget about her completely, then I think you'll be okay. There's a lot of people that have successful businesses that spend minimal time with their wife and kids.
yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they're a bad father or a bad husband. They're just conquering the world.
Trying to build, right?
Yeah,
Just make sure that you don't forget the people that are there waiting for you. So
absolutely.
that's been going on in 2025, which is only 15 days in, and then I've had a lot of reflection, right? Because I've been out since 2011, so 2011 turned into 2012, turned into 13, 14, 15, so we're at 14th year, 14 years. So in 14 years, I've gained an X amount of experience in training. I've gained an X amount of gratitude. I've made some mistakes. I've made a lot of rectifications with my mistakes.
Yeah,
Some I haven't, but I want this year to be much, much different in terms of how I actually build wealth, right? Invest in myself a lot more. Probably having you in my life for a little bit more accountability as well too with this channel, right? Because I don't want this channel to die.
no,
I don't want this to be another um, reflection of something that could have happened, but it didn't because we just let it fade away. Because there's a lot of viewers out there that we do get a lot of feedback, and like even personally, I get text messages from people in my life that watch it all the time. They're interested, they're intrigued. Because at the end of the day, I'm human, just like you're human, and we all got struggles. But don't let these struggles define you.
no, for sure.
You can use them as stepping stones and learn from. So, a couple of reflections I've had recently is because it's New Year's resolution. Um, it's hard to keep things going that are new. Like I think back to recreating the person that I was in prison, and how do you go from having a set pattern and a set habit to now all of a sudden waking up and you have this desire of wanting to be different, and then taking new steps and taking new patterns and instilling those. It's daily. It's not every other day. It has to be daily. And it has to be ritualistic. People out there are not really practicing that from what I see. And I'm in the fitness industry. And in the fitness industry, as you know, New Year's resolution, new year, new you. But the fact of the matter is, to cultivate this new you, you're going to need help.
Yeah,
And to cultivate this new mindset that I'm currently in, I'm probably going to need help. So I'm reaching out to people that I know that are going to hold me accountable in this light. So coaching or training or mentorship is extremely important, and it's one pivotal step that I need to take, and I need to bet more on myself. Even though I volunteer my time with the trainers and with helping people, I want to make sure that I'm actually doing it where I'm seeing some form of return in a different light as well too. Because the more I can free up my time, which is why I'm trying to do this new venture, Romania, the more I can help. And ultimately, I know that helping is going to be my true calling with the speakings, which is ultimately why I got into training anyway, because I want to help.
yeah,
But most recently, I can probably monetize off of it as well too. So it's a fair exchange.
absolutely. What do you want to help people with? Anything? Doesn't matter.
Oh, to become the best version of themselves. How about we start with that? Even me, when I get a client, I ask them what their goals are, It's superficial, weight loss, um, aesthetics, or getting out of pain. But what does that really mean, though? Like, you want to lose weight for what? Just so that you can look a certain way? There's usually an attachment to that. Like, so I scratch the surface with asking them these superficial questions, but then I ask more questions, and there's an attachment to somebody wanting to lose weight. Maybe they want confidence, maybe they're going through a breakup, and the weight is attached to them looking better and feeling better so that they can actually get somebody better.
Yeah.
Or the aesthetics, I want to have bigger muscles, my biceps, my triceps. But what's the attachment to that? For example, I'll use me for an example. In prison, we had to work out because it was a matter of just you being physically fit in order to defend yourself. So that's life or death. Out here, we don't really have to do that. If you're in the military, you may have to do that. So I got into fitness because of that, but then I got really into fitness when my mom died. I dove really, really into it, and then I really, really started to become passionate about it because I used that as like an anchor for my pain. So we're all attached to different anchors, whether if it's coping with the loss of a mom, or whether if it's coping with the breakup of a relationship. Like, fitness resonates with a lot of people that are currently in pain.
Yeah.
So what do I want to help with? How about getting people out of pain? I mean, ultimately, we're all in some form of pain. You can use fitness as a modality rather than drinking or constantly doing drugs, which is just a distraction. So if you can control that, that's fine, good for you. But if you're using these things as a distraction, maybe try to find a different distraction.
Yeah.
Invest in you,
Absolutely.
and it'll give back. So ultimately, that's what I want to help with, getting people out of pain.
Went from that city to the spot, now we living. Still running their mouth, they gon' drop out the mention. They bitches and most of them not from the trenches. Come to my block, come and see how we living. We chillin' with Glocks and they all got extensions. Moved to the north cause I seen they was winning. Go ask about it. Got a spot, had